February 2020, I spent a month in Guatemala with a backpack and several cameras. Despite having very limited Spanish-speaking ability, I was able to get by. The territory of modern Guatemala once formed the core of the Mayan civilization, which extended across Mesoamerica. Most of the country was conquered by the Spanish in the 16th century. Guatemala declared independence from the Spanish Empire on September 15, 1821. My brother and I stayed at a hostel in Zone 1 of Guatemala City for 2 weeks. It only cost $10 a day, and breakfast was included. Guatemala literally means land of trees, and their motto is land of eternal spring. With a median age of 22 years, the typical Guatemalan is quite young. Everyone I met was very friendly towards me.
This is the chicken bus experience.
In Guatemala, the chicken bus, or camioneta, is the preferred way to travel. Chicken buses are old, retired, bluebird school buses from North America. They are decorated in unique, flamboyant style and are typically named after ladies. There are no designated stops for the chicken bus. You can make eye contact with the bus conductor, who is usually hanging out of the front door, then you can hail the chicken bus. People are crammed tightly together inside, while cargo, like chickens, are strapped to the roof of the bus. Chicken buses slow down, but never actually stop to pick up or drop off passengers. Time is of the essence. Vendors jump on and off buses intermittently, selling various products, or even just preaching. After several exhausting hours on a chicken bus from Guatemala City, we arrived at Chichicastenango, the largest open-air market in Central America. Open on Thursdays and Sundays, this market is truly vast. This is the first place where we saw a few foreign tourists.
closer together.
Chichicastenango is located northwest of Guatemala City in the highlands. Temperatures are cooler here due to its 6,500 feet elevation. Many cities in Guatemala have the suffix Tenango, which means place of the walls. Due to Spanish influence, there are many walled or fortified cities in Guatemala.
How big this area is. We could spend a lot of time here.
The currency in Guatemala is the quetzal, which is named after the beautiful native bird. Bartering for goods is standard here, and even though foreign tourists might be charged more, the prices are still inexpensive.
I feel like I'm saying that even more now.
In this market, you can hear the pitter-patter sound of women as they slap tortilla dough into flat shapes for grilling.
Oh, it's really hot. Sorry for going on that detour. I think the food's kind of straight ahead and to the right.
Today was day 3 of a month-long adventure. There was a lot more to see and do. In February 2020, I spent a month in Guatemala. Hostels are inexpensive, but they can be loud, and there isn't much privacy. My brother and I walked to the Constitution Plaza, a 5-minute walk from our hostel. There we purchased some grilled corn. It was very chewy. From Guatemala City, we took a chicken bus to Antigua. Antigua, meaning old, was the third capital of Guatemala. The previous capital city was destroyed in 1541 by a devastating pyroclastic flow from Agua Volcano. As a result, the colonial authorities decided to move the capital once more, this time 5 miles away to the Pantroy Valley. Present-day Antigua was founded on March 10, 1543, and was at the time named Santiago de los Caballeros. For more than 200 years, it was the capital of the Kingdom of Guatemala, which includes modern-day Belize, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Chiapas, Mexico. The cobblestone streets of Antigua are laid out in a north-south, east-west grid. I have seen more tourists in Antigua than anywhere else in Guatemala. To me, Agua Volcano is the most prominent feature of the city. In the distance, you can see Fuego Volcano, belching smoke. I stayed at the Pantroy Hotel, which has a beautiful rooftop viewing area. Cerro De La Cruz, meaning Hill of the Cross, is located on the northern edge of town. The viewing area is well worth the 330-step climb. There are markets everywhere. Here I purchased some locally made chocolate and a handmade cigar. The cemetery is located on the western edge of town, close to the chicken bus staging area. Graves are above ground here. The main markets are also on the western edge of town, next to the buses. Central Park with its shade, benches, and vendors. It's a great place to rest and have a snack. Antigua, due to its scenery, shops, and accessibility, is a must for anyone traveling to Guatemala.
Camino Huyu is a pre-Columbian site of the Maya civilization that was occupied from 1500 BC to 1200 AD. It lies on roughly the western third of modern-day Guatemala City. Camino Huyu has been described as one of the greatest archaeological sites in the New World. When first mapped scientifically by Shook in the 1930s, it was comprised of some 200 platforms and pyramids. Why isn't Camino Huyu better known? Camino Huyu was swallowed up by the real estate developments in the late 20th century. New Guatemala City simply grew over Camino Huyu. Another reason for the lack of remains is that the ancient architecture was constructed of hardened adobe, not limestone, so the structures eroded over time. Today, only a few mounds remain. The true size and scale of Camino Huyu will never be known. On a side note, my father is an archaeologist, and his mentor, Jess Jennings, did some of the original research on Camino Huyu in the 1930s. Much of Guatemala's history and cultural heritage is showcased at the National Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology. This world-class, extensive museum is located in Guatemala City. Many of the artifacts here are originally from Camino Huyu. The Popol Vuh Museum, also located in Guatemala City, is one of the major collections of Maya art in the world. This mural is a recreation taken from a local Mayan temple. Okay, this is our stop. Chocolate Museum. Now let's go inside. Archaeologists believe that chocolate, meaning bitter water in Mayan, was cultivated as early as 900 AD in Mesoamerica. The Mayans harvested the seeds of the cacao trees, fermented, dried, and roasted them. Finally, the shells of the seeds were removed and ground into a paste for drinking. The beverage was a far cry from the sugar-infused chocolate that we enjoy today. The Mayans' northern neighbors, the Aztecs, could not grow the cacao tree and therefore had to obtain chocolate from the Mayans. The cacao beans eventually became a form of currency. The Spanish conquistadors who invaded Mesoamerica and defeated the Aztec Empire were introduced to the chocolate beverage but were unimpressed. They found the drink to be bitter and nearly unpalatable. They hesitated to even bring the cocoa beans back to Europe with them. When they did, however, the Spanish monks found that they could make the drink more pleasant by adding sugar to it, giving us the sweetened chocolate that we love today. Flores is a town in Petén, Guatemala. The town proper is an island on Lago Petén Itzá, connected to land by a causeway, on the other side of which lie the twin cities of Santa Elena and San Benito. All three are often referred to as Flores. For most, the reason to visit Flores is its proximity to Tikal, the famous Mayan ruins. But the island city itself is beautiful, dense with colonial, red-roofed buildings and charming restaurants scattered about its cobblestone streets. Most will find that this island city is more than just a takeoff point, but a memorable attraction in of itself.
I feel like we're part of a travelogue show. We're the Rick Steves of Central America.
You're caught in a tuk-tuk.
Wallets, purses.
I'm like trying to get in sync.
Not very much.
Tikal is Mayan. for At the Waterhole. It is located in the rainforests of northern Guatemala and is a 10-hour bus ride away from Guatemala City. At the peak of its glory, around 750 CE, Tikal was home to at least 60,000 Mayans. At 212 feet, Temple 4 is the tallest pre-Columbian structure in the Americas. Archaeologists estimate that Tikal was approximately 6 square miles. Most of what used to be Tikal has been reclaimed by the jungle. After over 1,000 years of prosperity, Tikal went into decline around 900 CE, probably due to drought. Pakaya Volcano rises 8,373 feet above sea level and is located 19 miles southwest of Guatemala City. Pakaya is an active volcano in Guatemala, which first erupted approximately 23,000 years ago and has erupted at least 23 times since the Spanish invasion of Guatemala. Roasting marshmallows in the hot crevices is a popular thing to do. The magma coming out of the top of the volcano solidifies and turns into rocks, which then roll down the mountainside. You can see, and especially hear, these rocks tumbling down the volcano. This video was shot in February 2020. The last major activity was in March 2014, causing ash to rain down in Guatemala City and Antigua. Lake Atitlan is a body of water in a massive volcanic crater in Guatemala's southwestern highlands. Ringed by steep, verdant hills, it's known for its Mayan villages and volcanoes with striking pointed cones. The busy town of Panajachel, where vendors sell traditional textiles, is a popular gateway to the lake. Lankin Caves are a sacred site for Mayans, who view caves as passages to the underworld. Mayan ceremonies are sometimes still held within the caves. The caves are also an important habitat for thousands of bats, which leave the cave at dusk. Samuk Champe, where the river hides under the earth, is a natural monument in the department of Alta Verapaz, Guatemala, near the Mayan town of Lanquin. It consists of a natural 300-meter limestone bridge under which passes the Cahabon River. Atop the bridge is a series of stepped turquoise pools, a popular swimming attraction. The 9 kilometers from Lanquin to Samuk Champe are the roughest I've ever been on. Standing in the back of a truck, holding on for dear life, was both an upper and lower body workout. And it wasn't just the joint bumps that were incredible. The incline was so severe that many 2-wheel drive trucks were getting stuck in the middle of the road. Canberra Cave is for the adventurous. There is no headlamp or helmet in this cave tour. You are only equipped with a homemade candle. You begin by walking into the cave, and soon you are swimming with one hand while balancing a candle dripping with hot wax in the other. Deep inside the cave, we clambered up many slippery steel ladders. There are also plenty of opportunities to smash your head and fall into unexpected deep holes. If you were to be injured, know in advance that the nearest hospital is 4 hours away in Coban. Having said this, I have to admit that this was the most fun I'd had in a long time.